Straight ahead on CCX News, rumbling into Maple Grove, the motorcycle ride led by NASCAR legends. Plus rain everywhere, how it's forcing residents to change course. But first, a Maple Grove lawmaker robbed at gunpoint. CCX News starts right now.
Hello and thanks for joining us. A local lawmaker says he was not hurt when he was robbed at gunpoint Thursday night in St. Paul.
State Representative Dennis Smith of Maple Grove says he was about a block from the governor's residence when it happened. Smith says he was leaving a restaurant where he and some colleagues were celebrating the passage of the Real ID bill when a man appeared out of nowhere and pointed a gun at him, demanding his wallet and phone. Smith admits it was a scary moment.
Application format.
Whenever a presumably loaded gun is pointed at you, you have the thoughts that you think you would have about, you showing, you think about your loved ones and, not wanting, the worst case outcome to happen. So there definitely was concern, and, it's a very scary moment.
So far, no arrests have been made.
An opioid 10,000 times stronger than morphine is being blamed for 5 more deaths, including 2 men from the Northwest Metro. Carfentanil comes in different forms, and it's used as an elephant tranquilizer, but it is being mixed in with heroin, and it's already caused 10 deaths in Hennepin County this year, including a 43-year-old Plymouth man and a 23-year-old Maple Grove man.
Law enforcement has not seen anything as potent as this or as addictive as this, which is, I guess, what makes it really attractive to the people who sell this poison out in our communities. And then secondly, there's just an inherent danger in dealing with carfentanil. And just last week, a police officer in Ohio had some of it on his uniform, and that transference from his uniform to his skin caused him to have an overdose.
Hennepin County saw a 39% increase in opiate-related deaths last year. April showers are supposed to bring May flowers, but instead those May showers keep on coming.
Reporter Shannon Slatton shows us what high water is looking like in our area.
Standing water on trails and in parks like here around Palmer Lake and Brooklyn Center are a very common sight in our area. With more rain in the forecast, this is something we'll be seeing for a while.
At West Palmer Lake Park, there are mud puddles on the ball field. The ground is soggy and there is water everywhere. The city is working to reschedule weekend ball games because the fields are just too wet.
We've been working all week here trying to maintain our parkland and trails.
Trails are underwater too. The water forced at least one runner to change up his run and go off trail.
Yeah, it's flooded, so I'm running around it. So sometimes there's wildlife to see, but not so much today.
He skipped over flooded areas by running instead through parking lots.
You can go through the parking lot here and around it, but the rest of the trail is usually in pretty good shape.
It's not uncommon for Palmer Lake to spill out of its banks after heavy rains. Not long ago, on the other side of the lake, the city took out an underutilized ball field at East Palmer Lake Park and instead just left green space.
And it was continually underwater a lot of times, so we took out the ball field, repurposed it just as open green space where people can come in and set up a volleyball net or do whatever.
One reason why this area is prone to standing water is because stormwater from as far away as Maple Grove comes here via Shingle Creek.
It's hard. A lot of places, we can try and pump water off the ball fields or away, but we're not going to pump Palmer Lake out. Every place we would pump the water to is going to run back to the lake.
But that's not the only place that has high water. Today, Robbinsdale declared no wake rules in effect on area lakes. That impacts several boaters on Twin Lakes and also on Crystal Lake, where you would have to drive through water just to get to the boat launch. Over on Medicine Lake in Plymouth, one surefire sign of high water is on the small dam on the south end of the lake. In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
The National Weather Service says Wednesday was a record-setting day with roughly 2 weeks worth of rainfall that day.
Residents of a Crystal home that the city says is functionally obsolete will soon need to find a new place to live.
I think it was a tough call. It was tough for a lot of people to kind of go down that path, but at the end of the day, looking at the property and what we needed to do with it, it just wasn't feasible to leave those tenants in place and get what we needed out of it.
Crystal's Economic Development Authority voted this week to relocate the tenants of this fourplex along 56th Avenue North. City officials say the property is a blight in the community. Crystal's EDA purchased the property this month for $295,000. The next step is to decide whether to demolish or renovate the building.
You know, whatever we do in this corridor will probably have repercussions for the next, 30 to 50 years. I mean, if we make a substantial investment in that building, it will stay there for a long time. So we want to make sure that whatever we do it right.
The tenants will receive a relocation package and have 90 days to vacate the property.
In Maple Grove, a night to hail the legends of NASCAR. Richard Petty posed for photos with fans and city officials Thursday night. The King, as he's known, was in town for his son's motorcycle charity ride across America. Kyle Petty is raising awareness and money for Victory Junction. It's a camp for children with chronic or life-threatening illnesses. Maple Grove was one of 8 stops Kyle Petty and his crew are making on their trip from Portland, Oregon to Milwaukee. Wednesday, the crew had to endure rain and wicked winds, but in Maple Grove, they finally saw the light.
I gotta tell you, and I know this is because of you two, this is the first time we've seen the sun all week. So thank you for bringing the sun to Maple Grove.
Mannheim Vehicle Auction in Maple Grove helped organize Thursday's pit stop and raise $70,000.
The communications director for the city of Plymouth had no idea she was about to receive a statewide award at a dinner on Thursday night. The Minnesota Association of Government Communicators surprised Helen LaFave with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Helen has worked for Plymouth for 30 years, and she says she likes to operate in the background on the city's messages.
I'm behind the scenes, but I'm also working with people throughout the organization to work on our messages and what we need to convey to people. We want to be transparent, and we want to share information, and we want to make sure that we're doing it in a clear way that's meaningful to people.
Helen gives credit to all the talented staff in the city of Plymouth. Still ahead on CCX News, raising awareness about digestive diseases that affect more than 1 million Americans.
Plus, Armstrong and Totino-Grace play a close match in the Section Boys tennis playoffs.
But first, words of wisdom at this year's Hennepin Technical College graduation ceremony.
Class of 2017. Today, you will join 40,000 students graduating this year from one of our colleges or universities. And together you'll be the fabric of our communities across Minnesota. You will manage our cities, lead our businesses, fix our cars, grow our food, and build our technology.
There will be times that you fail, but do not allow those failures to define you. Reflect on them, learn from them, use them to motivate you to be better. Take what you have learned in life and use it to better yourself, your peers, and your community. Life is a beautiful chaos. Embrace it and make the most of it.
Welcome back. Today we are highlighting digestive diseases that affect 1.6 million Americans, including many children from Maple Grove, Dayton, and Brooklyn Park.
Today is World Inflammatory Bowel Disease Day, and as Sonia Goins reports, it's a disease affecting more children.
Horatio, we're playing soccer.
Today is a good day. Children playing ball in Central Park. The sound of laughter from children who have endured a lot in their young lifetimes.
Basically, whenever I was sleeping, I would always have accidents.
From the outside, you can't tell that some of the children are fighting chronic conditions.
I have ulcerative colitis, and I've had it for 5 years, I think.
I have Crohn's, and I've had it for almost 2 years.
I have Crohn's, and I've had it for like 1 year or so.
Reagan, pass!
Inflammatory bowel disease is debilitating and sometimes fatal.
It hurt a lot when I had stomach aches, sometimes I couldn't even move.
When medicines didn't work, 11-year-old Aria Love had her colon and rectum removed. She now wears a device inside of her body to allow her to go to the bathroom.
A makeshift colon is a J pouch, and it basically takes place of your colon.
10-year-old Reagan Weirman wore a nasogastro tube so she could be fed a nutritional shake instead of eating food.
Sometimes I would just have random stomach aches, and sometimes I didn't even want to eat.
8-year-old Wyatt Miller was recently diagnosed with Crohn's. He now wears a nasogastro tube for the same reason as Reagan.
I had a bunch of stomach aches and stuff, so I couldn't go outside and play anymore that often.
Aria, Reagan, and Wyatt found comfort in each other. They belong to the Crohn's Colitis Foundation Pediatric Support Group.
I think it makes me feel like I actually fit in.
Everybody's the same.
There's more friends to meet with and better.
There is no cure for Crohn's or colitis, but the children dream of a brighter future.
I just want people to know that there are people out there that have it so they can help find a cure.
They are hopeful and determined to climb to new heights. In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Inflammatory bowel disease symptoms include fatigue and painful stomach cramps. For more information about IBD, you can go to our website. It's ccxmedia.org. Sports is up next, including titles on the line in Brooklyn Park for state-adapted bowling.
But first, more graduation reflections, this time from the ceremony at North Hennepin Community College.
Don't think about what you haven't done. Look at what you have done. Look at what you've accomplished here at North Hennepin. Your experiences at North Hennepin, those nuggets that those teachers have instilled in us, we can take those with us wherever we go.
Graduates, I have no doubt that your journey at North Hennepin was not without challenges. It wasn't always easy, but to borrow words from my favorite contemporary artist and philosopher, you started from the bottom, now you are here.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. For the 18th year, the Minnesota State High School League has sponsored the state-adapted bowling tournament. Many of those tourneys have been at bowling centers here in the northwest suburbs. Brunswick Zone and Brooklyn Park, the site for the one-day event. Friday, a total of 380 bowlers from schools across the state took part in singles, doubles, and/or team competition in 3 different classifications for bowlers. Intezora Sova of Wayzata, Minnetonka won the PI Division girls singles title, while Anoka Hennepin's Maddie Oblander won the ASD Division in girls singles. Kevin Prenisil from Anoka Hennepin is the boys PI singles champion. The section playoffs are underway in boys tennis. The Armstrong Falcons had a first-round bye in the Section 5 AA tournament, and the third-seeded Falcons got a good challenge from number 6 seed Totino-Grace in the quarterfinals. Number 1 singles Nikita Snezko in the near court for Armstrong gets the forehand winner here. A nice touch on the drop shot will set up a volley winner for Snezko, one of the state's top players. He wins his match in straight sets. To 3 singles, J.D. Urban in the far court, and he gets the overhead winner here for Armstrong. Then it's Urban with a return winner on his way to a straight set win, 6-0, 6-1 over the Eagles' Ryan Jordan. At number 4 singles, Henry Scott serving for Armstrong. Grace's Luke Narog attacks and gets a volley winner here for the Eagles. Narog's aggressive again on the next point and drops a volley in the corner, but Scott wins the match for Armstrong, 6-2, 3-6, 6-2. 2 doubles, nice net play by Armstrong's Ben Lethune as he finishes with an overhead winner. Kenneth Wang serves for Grace, and he sets up the smash winner by Elliot Becker as the Eagles win the match in straight set, 6-1, 6-2. But Armstrong sweeps the singles and takes the match 4-3, moving them to the semifinals on Monday. With Wednesday's rain, several opening round matches were moved back a day, with some local teams beginning play on Thursday. Champlain Park lost to Buffalo 6-1. Park Center fell 6-1 to Rogers, while Cooper was blanked 7-0 by St. Michael Albertville. The top 2 seeds in Section 5 AA, Wayzata and Maple Grove, are hosting quarterfinal round matches Friday afternoon, while Breck and Blake play for the Section 2A championship as well. Hopkins and Wayzata played an overtime game in their first meeting in girls lacrosse, with Hopkins winning. Wayzata gets off to a good start in the rematch. Annika Swanson gets a pick and turns the corner to score for a 3-1 Trojans lead. Sadie Skadron weaves through the Wayzata defense, spins and scores as the Royals get 3 straight to lead 4-3.
Nice job.
A big momentum goal, though, late in the first half for Wayzata as the long pass to Haley Olson results in a goal with 3 seconds left. The Trojans take a 7-5 lead into the half. They pull away with plays like this. A quick transition goal for Olson makes it 13-9 Wayzata. Skadron gets the last 3 of the night to make it interesting for Hopkins, but Wayzata wins its 3rd straight game after an 0-9 start. 14-12 is the final. The Wayzata boys beat Hopkins 12-0. And that's all for sports. Back to you, Mike and Alex.
All right, Jay, thanks. Coming up next, another man's treasure turned into works of art in Robbinsdale.
And we'll be right back. And finally, taking consumer objects and turning them into works of art.
In Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley explores another man's treasure.
I'm fascinated with the American obsession with objects.
Why is it that you can remember exactly what your first car looked like? And why does the image of that car bring back so many other memories?
Why is it that things that are made of wood and plastic mean much more than their materials?
Perhaps the answers to all of that are found in a psychology textbook, but Nathan Stromberg simply recognizes that it is so, and he's created artwork depicting familiar pieces of Americana.
The aesthetic design of things that are old, that we assign certain memories to, objects that we had or that our parents or grandparents had in the garage, old toys, the shape of a particular car. It's just material, but yet it means a lot more to us than what we realize, I think.
Nathan didn't start out as a collage artist.
My primary means of art was painting for a very long time. I'm an oil painter, and I still do paint. But the goal was if I could try to paint with the paper.
The vision that it takes to see the parts of an object in a page of magazine or newsprint is amazing.
That is, treat little bits of newspaper or magazine clipping as if they are fragments of paint, and what would it look like to put those down in such a way so that when you get really close you see bits of articles or pictures of other things, yet from a distance they read as realistic objects that we assign meaning to.
Nathan uses clippings of the same time period as the object he is creating. Each work is visually rewarding on 2 levels.
That's just the whole idea of trying to reward the viewer, for getting up and having a closer look.
You will be rewarded if you come to Robin Gallery and check out Nathan Stromberg's show, Another Man's Treasure. For Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Another Man's Treasure will be on display at the Robin Gallery through May 27th. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday starting at 4 o'clock.